Hello and welcome to this episode of No Blasters with me, Micky Bartlett. I want to tell you about our Patreon over at patreon.com/NoBlasters. This is the home of No Blasters Extra Time, which is a podcast we release every Thursday. Please sign up to this and you can join us to play Pro Clubs mode on EAFC 24. I'm having to learn all these new phrases. Basically, clubs mode on the new FIFA. We this is where you control one player, but like what I want to sort of do is forge either a No Blasters team or just play with people while we're online together during a Patreon episode of the podcast, No Blasters Extra Time. There's loads of stuff on there, loads of content, about 2 years of content. You can sign up for £3. It's over at patreon.com/NoBlasters. Also, this episode is sponsored by Doogie's Goodies, the greatest bakery on this earth. Doogie's are doing cakes like this. So this is a unbelievable chocolate French fancy cake. Look at this customization, a photo of your choosing. Happy New Year. This is a great Happy New Year cake. You can go over, you can choose, so you can order online at doogiesgoodies.com. These are great cakes for any occasion. So you can order according to, like, you can customize the order according to like the flavor of the cake, the type of sponge it is, what the icing is. You can have photos on it. You can get it in different shapes, the shape of numbers and what have you, if you want like a number cake. It's a brilliant thing. You don't even have to get off your sofa to do it. Just whip the phone out and get on there. doogiesgoodies.com. They have loads and loads of choices there. I mean, you can have a slice if you want, but nobody will judge you if you just order this cake for yourself. I mean, do you know what I would do is whenever the delivery comes to your house or you go to pick it up, just pretend that there's other people with you. That's what I would do. Just be like, does anybody want to slice this cake? There's no one there. Just have it yourself. It's a great time. Check that out for a quality cake. So yeah, go over to doogiesgoodies.com and check that out. You can order those cakes online. They just need about 48 hours notice, which is like nothing really. So great for birthdays, anniversaries, occasions, great times. Great on a Tuesday as well, just if that's what you're doing. Today's episode also sponsored by manscaped.com, the very best in male below the belt grooming. Get over to manscaped.com, use the code NOBLASTERS20, that's the word No Blasters, all one word, and the number 20, NOBLASTERS20. As a promo code, you get 20% off and free shipping. I highly recommend the ball deodorant. I highly recommend the ball wipes, just as male hygiene products. You can also use the Lawnmower 5.0 to buzz your intimate areas. If you're the sort of person who wants to buzz your face, I would highly recommend using the Hedger. Good. There's a couple of these different ones because now I also have one to do my head with as well, which is called the Handyman. We love it. I love that. Between the three of us, we get this readout. And so I use that on my head. I also use the weed whacker in my ears and nose because I'm 37 and those hairs are growing at a rate I don't even understand. But it's a great time. Get over to manscaped.com. Use the code NOBLASTERS20 for 20% off and free shipping. Let's get stuck into this episode. Let's get stuck in. Today's guests are Dungallen's finest. Dungallen, the Moy. The Moy's main man, Talal Jomar, and Micky Bartlett, Lurgan legend.
I suppose I could go with that.
Lurgan legend.
I would say international legend.
Yeah.
I've been about.
Craigavon
Colossus.
Oh, yeah. I love that. That's the sort of thing, mate. See, when I'm sharp, I'm on that. See, today I'm like Craigavon.
Don't worry about it, man.
I'm like, it's Craigavon, and then it's like buffering.
Roundabout?
I'm like buffering, yeah.
Roundabout.
Craigavon's, that's near fucking...
There's a shopping trolley and a tree in it.
Ported down, fucking what? Craigavon's a town, but also it's an area. I mean?
Yeah. There's no... Because I was talking... Who was I talking to recently? There was like, I was in Craigavon town centre and I was like, there's no such thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shane, wasn't it? Yeah. He was in Portadown. It took us about an hour and a half to find out he was in Portadown. I was like, what? It was like, felt like, you know, like a sidekick being like, what can you see? There's a church. That's not Craigavon. They've only got chapels.
I don't love it down there. I don't love Craigavon, Portadown. I don't love that.
Portadown's a shithole.
Yeah.
Toilet.
Yeah.
And the people are cunts.
And you're from Lurgan, which is mad.
I'm from Lurgan.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Lurgan's lovely.
I've done some
misunderstood.
Misunderstood.
Yeah.
Just I don't even know if it's salt of the earth or it's just salt.
It's salty.
It is salty. Yeah.
Think you're funny, do you?
Over seasoned. That's what Lurgan is.
How dare you?
the Moy was weirdly nice. I've only been to the Moy once.
You would say that. You use
I know.
your frontage.
I've
and your fresh air and your bootcut jeans. Yeah, culty fuckers.
Yeah.
Diesel's killing the planet, man. Go hybrid, fuck's sake.
I've only been there once. That was fat gig.
Yeah.
I was a mental gig. What did you call that place? PB's, right down there.
Oh no, I'm thinking of what I did in Cookstown.
Oh, it's all Here, that's great in there. So it is. But the one in the Moy,
biggest street in Northern Ireland.
Kirkstown? Is that what they say?
It's actually the biggest main street in Europe.
I fucking knew
Oh
it.
my
Because every cunt
God.
from Tyrone. See anybody from Tyrone, if you go biggest street in Northern Ireland, they go Europe. Actually, we're out of Europe. Did I hear that?
I was just about to say, hit the breakers. I was literally just waiting to say that. Oh my God. Mate, Kirkstown.
Class sausages.
Yeah.
Class sausages.
Shame about the rest of it.
Shame about everything else.
Oh, mate. So, actually, do you know what it has? A wee Marxies.
Do we Marxies in Cookstown?
So if you're gonna because I've done some rare gigs in Cookstown.
I've done some good ones to be fair. Burnavon Theatre's fucking lovely. I've done a couple of good ones in there. Just recently, about a year ago, I did one in I can't remember. I'm not saying the name of the pub just for legal reasons.
I know exactly where you're
Let's just not mention the place. And
it
was horrible.
Do you know what I did? I was a wee dick the night I gigged in there. Because I had other stuff on, and that sounds like I was wearing somebody else's clothes. I had other stuff on, and
turned up as Mrs. Doubtfire.
I wanted. Oh, but hello, puppets. I really wanted to
go down to level 3.
I really wanted to do the gig, but I did have other commitments. So I said I'll do it, and I'll do the headline set.
Going on first.
But first,
you're a wee cunt.
I'll never do it again. I realised
that's the most horrible thing.
Who
else was on?
Butler and Tommy.
You're a piece of shit.
And to be fair,
to be fair, with Butler and Tommy, that's not too bad.
And
I thought you were going to be like fucking.
They were both like, Butler was like, "You're a cunt." Like I got there, and he goes, "You're on first, but your headline." I went, "I have other hand." He's like, "You're such a cunt."
Man, I did it.
I felt like a cunt as well.
I did it the night after the Waterfront last year. Fucking.
Why did we do this ourselves?
Right.
Why do you put what?
Here,
Right.
This is what my brain did. Right. My brain went, "That's your boyhood dream. You've just done it. Fucking, you got to stand an ovation. That's everything you've ever wanted. You need to be grounded. Go and do a pub gig." Yeah. And I got on the stage and nobody turned around. Nobody even looked up. And then I found myself going the complete opposite, standing on the stage for the first time in 15 years, going, "You don't even need the fucking money."
I know. So I did the night, right? So the night before the second SSE there, right? The night before, Shane asked me would I do 10 minutes at the Opera House, and I hadn't done it yet, so I was very happy to do that. But I had stupidly ages ago agreed to do a gig for like people were doing like a charity sleep out for homelessness. I think you did this gig last year.
I did it last year, yeah.
Now, firstly, I need to say this because I only discovered this at the gig. I said, "Where are you sleeping out?" And they all pointed to a corner in the building. Where there was pillows and sleeping bags and all that out. And I went, "So you're not sleeping out then, are you?"
It is cold in there.
You're sleeping out of your house.
It's still cold.
But you're still, here. It's not the street, though, is it?
Did they have all the free mini jam-ons and all that sort of shit?
There was all food everywhere.
I went to town on that.
No, I didn't. Do you know what? I went through a weird wee thing in the day before the Odyssey, the day before the SSE, where I was going, "Mind yourself, Twink. Don't eat anything.
Don't do anything that's going to be shits.
Don't eat anything free." Because it's probably...
I ate loads of them, but I felt bad because they were free, so just to make it feel more genuine, I put them on the bin first.
So I went to do this gig.
We didn't hear the story. I'm going to tell next.
I went to do this gig, so I've just been on stage in the Opera House, first time ever. I'm going the next night to do the SSE, biggest show of my life, right? And in this weird wee window of time, I'm in Banana Block doing a gig to about 40 people, none of whom have paid in, and sound was good, but here was my intro. So some woman who's working there gets so the lady who was running the gig was very nice. She got somebody else to intro me, but the intro was this: "Okay, everybody, listen, we'll have a comedian come on here." I'm standing there, everyone can see me. People have already waved and I've already taken about 8 selfies, right? we'll have a comedian coming on here. I'm going, don't say something like, he's going to try and make you laugh. He's going to try and do some comedy for you. I'm like, don't say that. Don't say I'm trying. Don't say that. Right? So I'm sitting going, right? And then she goes, now, it might not be everybody's cup of tea, and if you have any wee younger ones with you, you might want to go outside, because Dolly the donkey's out there, and you can groom a donkey, or watch this, cunt. That, I swear to God, that has never happened before.
Go out and try and put a donkey in a van.
Yeah, mate. I literally go outside and groom a donkey or watch Kieran Bartlett. And people left.
Aye.
And I went, and then she turns around to me and goes, okay, Kieran. Walks off, doesn't go, Kieran Bartlett. Just goes, okay, Kieran. Walks off. My first words out of my mouth were, fucking welcome me to the stage, will you, for fuck's sake? A couple of people do that, and I went, here, if you don't like anything I'm going to do, there's a fucking donkey needs to come outside, so enjoy it. It was so weird.
I did a gig recently and it surprisingly went well. I couldn't believe it, right? But it's that, especially with if it's a charity thing, you're standing there going, somebody's going to fuck this up. Because nobody here knows how to
run a gig,
on. Like, the gig itself was run great, but I'm always you're always like, what's happening right before me?
Yeah.
Because that'll fucking change it, right? Like, I've went on after somebody's done posthumous awards, and the people who've died, their family are in the fucking audience, and you're like, this isn't going to go well.
Yeah.
I had to go on after, and it was...
I went on after a mum talking about how she'd become spiritual because her son had an accident. And I thought her son... I've talked about this. I thought her son was dead, and that was what the gig was for.
Right.
But he was in the front row.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So I was raging.
I told you about the one I did it was in Lurgan. The one I did in Lurgan where there was two, it was for a Gaelic club, and there was two players that died that year, just like fucking died in their sleep. The night before
Why is that funny when you say that?
But
Why is that funny?
As they're talking about it, right, the guy's like, and he's getting all emotional, like, Kevin was a great player, he's a great Gael, and he fucking... And I'm like, Hitchcock zooming around, and I can see people in veils.
A great Gael.
Yeah. I'm like, as I've told you this before, the gig... I didn't want to do it, so the guy went, much do you charge to do fucking half an hour?
I'd price it.
I'd price it, go see you Saturday, click, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. It'll be $1 million. Like, no problem. Do you want that in euros?
I remember, like, he put the money in my top pocket, tapped me in the cheek and went, don't fuck it up, before I went on, and I'm like just squeaky bumming it, like. But to go through all this, like, and he passed away and his family's here, and I don't, so in my head I go, and there's just a wife and two kids crying and black.
You're like, alright, motherfuckers.
Yeah, and then a woman had been run over by a lorry the night before outside the chapel. He's like, and obviously we fucking got splattered all up in front of anyway, Micky Bartlett.
God.
But this one I did was I don't want to name the charity just in case, but it was helping people get fresh drinking supplies, and it was giving them aid to get fresh drinking.
Right, okay, yeah, that's good.
And I had to go on after a guy from Malawi talking about how bad the situation was.
Right.
I might have to do an accent.
I wouldn't.
Okay, then I won't.
Just avoid that.
It's a pretty accurate one, though.
Right, okay.
So it's not really that bad. But I'll not do it. But basically, he goes through this whole story.
Do it as if he was from Ballymena.
There we go. So, like,
what do you think of a man?
that's a wee joke with Eastern Europeans. But I'm a good man. I'm only messing. But he's like, what do you think of a country where if you go to the hospital, you have to bring water to the hospital to get them to treat you? Like, what do you think of a country where a woman goes to the hospital, the doctor says, come back with water and we'll treat you, and she goes to get water. What do you think happens on the way back? She gave birth. Please welcome to the stage, Micky Bartlett.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, who's drinking tonight?
I know. What do you think of a country? You have to bring potatoes to the chippy.
What's Bruce Lee's favourite drink? Water! But I turned it around, crushed it, though, in cash and hand sign on.
I'll say this about the gig I did last week. It actually went really well. Once I got into the flow, a couple of minutes.
Do you know
it was an awkward opening couple of minutes.
The worst I've ever felt on stage happened to me about 5 months ago.
Right.
I ended up, and I've swore blind I was never doing it again, but I ended up doing a wee stretch of TV warm-ups for RTE, right? And they were doing a pilot for the two Johnnies, great blokes, lovely fellas, right? And I walked into they were recording in the bar. They actually made the show. It's on
They're
RTE
doing it now, yeah.
But it's a different layout than it was for the pilot. So I walk into this fucking derelict pub in Dublin and immediately go, I'm fucked. Like, this isn't going to work, right? So the two Johnnies are waiting to make their entrance. So the whole audience is getting photos of the two Johnnies, and there's me and about 8 people, right? So the floor manager goes, right, stand you beside the bar, and I'll just introduce you on. So I'm like standing in front of the whole crowd, trying to be all nonchalant, like.
Yeah. I'm just one of you guys.
Aye. And she's like, and she goes on, she's like, so just to let you know, the fire exit is over here. The way the show's going to work, Johnny's going to come out. We'll get a few free drinks so for the audience, so it looks like you're in an actual pub. And please welcome to the stage, Micky Bartlett. So I walk out, right? She doesn't move, stood directly in front of me, right? And I'm fucking, yeah, what's up, motherfuckers? No one's looking, trying to get a few jokes going. They start giving the free pints out, so people are turning around to get the free pints, right? She's still standing there. At one point, she walked away, and I'm like, fuck. Down in my hole, nothing's working. She comes back and she's on a walkie-talkie and she's going, yeah, and I'm still trying to tell jokes at the top of her. Yeah, and then looks at me and goes, nah, shite. Swear to God.
Oh.
And I was like, fuck this. Like, and they put me up in a hotel, and then when I checked into the hotel, they hadn't paid for it. So I had to pay for the hotel, and then got aggressively steaming. I drank like a cop that couldn't solve a case. Like I was like, I'm getting fucked in a hotel by myself. The kids, she took the kids. You don't have kids. Fuck up. Like,
oh, mate,
horrible. And then they were like, do you want to come back and do the series? And I went, no, do not. Like, fucking horrible.
That's fucking stinking, mate. See that there type of when people treat you that way. That's sort of like, who's just dickhead?
And that's not the worst thing was the two people directing the show I'd worked with on TV shows as a comedian. So I'm like, so you know him, but you still only have me as the warm-up guy. You motherfucker.
Yeah, no, that's dirt. Oh, mate.
Show business, boys, is great crack.
I know, but it's weird because I think literally nearly every time I've had a big show, the show after it isn't just like it's not like a Lavery's or an Empire.
Aye.
It's never that. It's never like yes, it's a club gig, but it's going to be a banger. It's all the show after. It's always, we're doing, this guy's going to come on do 10 minutes of jokes for you, so he is. In this,
we're raising money for Davy's fucking replacement knees.
Yeah, in this abandoned shed. Did you need a microphone? Micky Bartlett! Right? Like,
I know it's only me and you here, mate, but you'll love him.
See, not that long before the first SSA, I had one where like I got there. The only thing I asked for was a mic, like a mic and a mic stand.
Aye.
No mic stand. And I went, and she goes, well, we'll have somewhere for your guitar, right? I said, I need somewhere to plug a guitar in. And then I said to her, I need somewhere to plug a guitar in. And she brought me over to actual plugs in the wall.
Oh, fuck.
And I literally laughed in her face. I laughed in her face and went, no. Took all her money though. And then,
absolutely.
And then I did another gig. That same night, I did another gig that was in a GAA club down in Fort Hill or something.
No.
And it was fucking banging.
Oh, yeah.
Like, brilliant.
GAA clubs are always great.
Yeah, they kind of, they know the crack, like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're up for it, like. But that was, see those ones, those corporates as well, are rank, aren't they?
There's just like, there's times that go well. I remember doing one once where, I can't remember who it was for, but it was in the Europa. And it was like during the day at Christmas time. Yeah.
So,
but it was like, the fucking, they had this like, no swearing, no fucking dirty stuff, whatever. And I realized when I got there, I realized it was like one table of the fucking executives, and then the rest was all just normal, like workers, like work for the company, whatever. And it was like, it was a fucking pipeline thing or something. So it was actual grafters, like.
I think I did this.
Right? I think everyone's done it once, right? And I got up, I'd written a few wee bits and pieces, like, I'll try and these.
Was there people sitting at a top table on the stage?
Yeah.
And everyone's suited and booted.
Yeah.
And pipe industry.
I
did that gig. They bagpiped me onto the stage.
Fuck.
That's a true story.
That sounds class.
But no, it wasn't.
Like somebody put their dick in your armpit?
No, yeah. That's a bit bagpiped, isn't it?
Who books that?
A guy called Dom. That's mental. Yeah, no, like they had a bagpiper. So I asked. They told me they wanted me to have dinner with them, and I went. I swear to God, I said no, thank you. And I went, well, that's kind of part of the gig. And I went, well, I can't do it then. And they were like, right, well. And I went, I will break bread with you, but like, and they're like, and you have to be suited and booted. And I'm like, I hope you mean Adidas, because that's what I've got. And so I got into my suit. Went did it.
You're in the full wedding tux.
Yeah, they bagpiped me on they made me a bagpiper leads the top table to the table, and then and I'm walking through all these people just being like
doing a gig for the Illuminati.
Mate,
secret handshakes and all.
I would literally rather have gigged on Epstein's Island. And while I was doing
Me
mine,
too.
the what do you call it? The fire alarm went off and wouldn't stop going off. And I looked at the guy going, I went, "Do you want me to wait until that goes off?" And he goes,
Right.
So
You're like, fire alarm in the Europa? That can't be a bad sign.
I know. And I just shit it out and was like, I was out of there about literally 2 or 3 minutes after set was over.
Oh man, when I did it, I ended up trying to do the stuff that they did, like, according to their fucking directives.
Yeah.
Immediately going, oh, these cunts aren't the same as the ones on the table. Abandoned that, just started doing my set, and it wasn't it was like my TV warm up set at the time, like fucking New to Me and all that sort of stuff. And it worked. And then afterwards, they're like, "We told you not to do that stuff," so they were trying not to pay me. And I was like, I could have stood and done what you told me to do and died for half an hour and ruined everybody's day.
Yeah.
But instead, I fucking turned it around and you had a great party.
I said I did one for a football team just before I went to Edinburgh. I think Paddy arranged it or something, or he was meant to do it and I couldn't do it. And it was in that, a weird hotel down on like it doesn't even matter, but like it's called like the Malone Hotel or something.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like on like it's one not Wellington Avenue, the next one up, Eglantine Avenue.
Right.
And it's like a long hour, and I went in and I like again all I said was need a microphone, mic stand. I can bring a mic stand. They're like, we have everything. We'll have place you plug the guitar and all. And I got there and there was a musician's stuff set there. And I went, where can I plug my guitar in the desk, is it? And they went, no, just use that stuff. And I went, I was like, I can't arrive and play on someone else's stuff. That's not really how this works. And the musician was there and was like, I don't really want you to do that. And I went, okay. And I said, can I plug into the desk? And then they were like, but that's the DJ's. And I'm like, but you were happy for me to basically finger this person's guitar, like, and again I ended up doing that, no guitar, just a mic. I made the sound system in there.
And some of them were shocking,
so bad, right? And I ended up at both those gigs, that one and the one where she brought me over to the hole in the wall. I've ended up literally just stand slagging people for half an hour because material means nothing.
Yeah.
It means nothing. They're just sitting there, whereas like I just go around the room and slag a few people, and I find myself getting to like Darren Brown levels of being able to go, you're this group of people in this room, and you're that group, and you're this one in that group. You can just spot people that are the fucking biggest cunt in the company, like, and people love it.
Yeah.
And that all kills, and then, but at the end of it, you're sitting there going, I'm doing a fucking SSE, mate. I'm doing a fucking waterfall, mate.
It's
insane.
Just,
and here, do you know what it is? I don't need to have my bag looked fat. I really don't.
Aye.
Give me a mic stand. If you're gonna ask me what I need for a gig, and a mic stand's one of the things.
But it's the thing of like that a lot of people don't get is if you go on and for some reason it's only comedy. If somebody goes on and plays music and it's not great, nobody really cares.
People still go. You could be shite. Say if you play Wonderwall, shit.
Yeah, but you go on as a comedian and it doesn't work. Even if you're not shite, it just doesn't work. They go, he's fucking dog shit, and they get angry about it.
Yeah,
Do
people.
you know what I mean? So you're like, if you're booking me for this, listen to what I'm telling you to do, because this will make it work.
Because there's rules.
If it doesn't work, your whole fucking thing's ruined.
There's wee rules for spoken word performances.
Yeah.
There you go. You want me to get up and do slam poetry? It's the same rules as comedy. People need to fuck up, or else it doesn't work.
Aye, 100%.
Do you know what I mean?
I done a gig there a few weeks
Shut
ago.
up, Talal, would you?
That's class, man.
Oh, it's so good.
I think what my career ruined there. It's ruined. Done a gig there in Glengormley or somewhere, and all their sound system was, them shit karaoke machines. So the mic plugged into the thing, yeah.
Where was that? Is that not fucking? I think
it was not. It was in some wee pub.
Oh, I think I may have been asked to gig there. There's only one gig I can think of I've ever been asked to do in Glengormley, and I went, I'm sorry.
It was like some soccer team, and it was just.
I think I did one horrific. Around there. So it was Kieran Franco and all those lads were running one, and again it was one of those things where like there was a barman whose sister was in the front row steaming, and she was heckling the whole way through it. Was that drunk? I remember putting her down so many times she forgot I was doing it, so she was just like fucking. And then her brother worked in the bar, was coming over to give her a lift home, and stood directly in front of me talking to her, and I'm like, "Do you not fucking see me?
I hate
16 stone.
I hate that.
I'm a unit, like, and you're just fucking. Do you want to lift with me? You want to wait for mummy? Like, and the same thing, I'm going, I have no waterfront last night.
It's that. Yes, it's that. It's always that. I did one that always sticks out for me was I did one with Paddy. He was headlining the field last year.
Aye.
And he got me to do support, and both gigs were brilliant, right? But the second one, I had a fucking screamer, and the just the reception, even when it came out, was just brilliant. Like both gigs were good, but the second one was fucking brilliant, right?
Right.
And I was just sharp, and I just had a fucking complete screamer. And that same night, I'm going to do a gig in Warren Point with Diona, right? And I just always remember being about, like, I wasn't even out of Belfast yet. I drove down in the alley town to get on the motorway to go back out towards, like, we're not even at Lisburn. We're actually driving over Blacks Road when I get a message going, "How is the Devonish? You're going to love this place. Half the seats don't face the stage." From Diona. And I was literally like,
it's fucking. I was out in Perth.
it was fucking brutal.
I was out in Perth seeing my girlfriend. I was like, I didn't have a visa to do any gigs, so it was like, I'll maybe do a couple of open mics just to keep it ticking over. Because you know, if you don't do a gig for 2 weeks, you start to get fucking
weird.
I start getting angry.
Yeah.
And went to this place, and it was a free gig in a burger place, and I was like, oh, that'll be a bit of crack, bit of character building stuff, right? Get there, it's a wireless mic. Yeah, and it's wireless mic, and I'm already like, we're fucked. It's a wireless mic, we're fucked.
Yeah.
And then the guy hands me the mic, and it was light.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, we're double fucked.
Yeah.
And there was a point where I figured out the only way to get the mic to work, you had to hold it in one position.
You know what that's just reminded me of? You know that scene in Taken where the guy lifts a gun and Neeson's taking his bullets out of it? But it's been so long since he's lifted it, he can't tell that it's like.
Yeah.
Neeson's like, that's the sort of thing that you know if you were doing this all the time.
That's what I was like.
When you lift a light microphone, you know.
Yeah, you're straight away, you're like,
this is the sort of thing I know needs to be heavy. or I'm going to fucking die.
There's no weight in that at all, boy. She's empty. You've spent the clip. But it was just like, fuck, I remember having to like move the mic around like that and then lean into it. And if you got too close, it would go, whoa.
Oh, man, it's a bingo mic.
I think I got about 5 minutes in and my brain went, you don't need to do this, man. Like, you've proved yourself. You don't need to do it.
Get your free burger. Go
I
home.
just fucking, I didn't get the free burger, man. Just walked out. Didn't even say goodbye to the rest of the comedians. Just fucking got my jacket and walked straight out.
Oh, man.
Fuck you, koala riding
Were you
bastards.
were you in Lavery's tonight now? This is going back, like, this is pre-pandemic. The night in Lavery's where Colin's bringing me on, and as I go on, someone stands in front of me between me and the
That's
stage.
starting to happen quite a bit now.
This was
in that wee fucking
in the corridor. Yeah, this was one where this guy stood there, and I had my guitar, and I went, as he stood up, I went, mate, move. 2 seconds, I'm going on. Colin's like, welcome, Kieran Bartlett. I went, mate, move. And he's standing looking at me like that, and I literally go, will you fucking move? Right? And I sort of end up barging past him, and I hear the guitar going off the wall, and I go, if that's broke open, he's eating it. Right? Like, that's all I'm thinking. And I go on stage, and I've been sitting there thinking, because I've maybe had a couple of rare gigs around that time where I was maybe getting too aggressive.
You didn't ever do that.
I know, right? I was maybe
calling people cunts in a beer burger. What are you talking about?
Definitely, what are you doing here, cunt? Right? And I was definitely, I'd had a couple of mirrors, and this night I had even pep talked all night about like, go on, enjoy it. You know, I'm the voice of my own God, right? I'm in control of my own destiny. I'm going and I had new bits and all. I had like loads of new stuff, and I'm like, I'm just gonna feed the crowd. See what they eat.
Just enjoy the space.
Right? And this guy gets in my way. I made like I was so raging on stage. I did about 3 minutes at the start. Just like ripping into this guy. And just lost the whole room. Like,
do you know what
I don't know if you were there. It was so bad.
There's things like that happen, and you realise, oh, nobody else seen that.
Yeah.
Like nobody else fucking seen that happen.
And also, even if they saw it, they'll probably go, he was in your way and then he wasn't. Whereas I'm going, this is my name.
No, but it's because people don't get as well. I think, like, do you know whenever you started stand up, you're nervous about a gig for a week, right? You can't eat, you're fucking losing sleep. And
I usually manage to eat, look.
Me too.
I'd be like, Micky, you're not eating that. I get this wee bit down.
Get it down.
Yeah.
But I found like the nerves are the same, right? But you've been doing it like as long as we've been doing it. it's the same amount of nerves, but it's only when you hear your name, right? So you're not nervous leading up to it. You hear Micky Bartlett, Micky Bartlett, you go, fuck. And if anything happens between
that wee walk's important.
That wee walk, you're like, fuck, I will stab a cunt.
Yeah.
Like,
I like seriously.
A fly could go past me and I'd be like
yeah, like it is. I get once I'm doing that walk now, that's where all the intensity is.
Like
fucking, it is. It's
really
kind of like a wee fight mode. Like, sorry, go on.
Sorry, my first time doing Lavery's, obviously big moment. And I was like, right, just don't trip on the way to the stage. Don't trip, just fucking walk the stage. As I was walking, a guy leaned to the side to pull his phone out of his pocket. I just need him right in the back. As I'm walking, all I hear is, I'll see you tuck going in.
I done it in Edinburgh. I was running between, my room in Edinburgh was upstairs and the bar was down the back. And Troy Hawk was doing a meet and greet, right? But I was running to get a bottle of water right before my show. So I forgot how fucking chunky I am. So there was 3 owl dolls just standing in the doorway. And I tried to make myself smaller by going like that. Because in my head, that's loads. And all I did was tense up and just batter 3 pensions. They sounded like Skittles. Like,
do you know what,
sorry, ladies.
Do you know what I hate as a unit? Like, see, whenever I'd be in a situation like that, and I know people are gonna have to move for me. I'll go, excuse me, sorry, can I jump past here, please? Excuse me. See, when people hear that, see me, they go like that. And stand there, I'm like, do you know what? Take all of this.
This is what's happening now.
Enjoy this fat boy floor cushion. It's about to just fucking pile through.
Your face is going to make this noise on that window.
Yeah.
And it's your fault.
Yeah.
I'm the same. See, I've got this real fucking pet peeve at the minute where, and I think I might have ADHD, right? I do have all the signs, but if I'm walking through the street, right, I'm constantly aware of people just walking straight, so I'll move.
Yeah.
But there's times where I go, how are you not seeing me?
Yeah.
Some people are walking directly at you, and you go, I'll play a wee game of chicken here and see who moves first. And they'll walk straight into you. And you're like, I'm going to break your fucking jaw.
Yeah, I hate that. I do that. I always feel that I move for people. People pleasers, mate.
That's the thing.
That's what we are. I think it's in our DNA.
Tap dancing gestures.
Yeah. Talal, what's been your best gig so far? How long have you been doing comedy?
2 years or the other day, probably my best gig. I think my first ever Larry was probably my best ever gig, and then my favourite gig probably I done support for Shane there in the Grand Opera House.
It was good.
It was
class room, and it was fucking gorgeous.
Yeah. Very nervous.
I did okay. I feel like again there was there was a guy in the front row, and as I came out, he was sitting like that, and so I sort of called him on it.
Aye.
I got a wee bit of crack out of him, and then when I went to talk to somebody else, guy gave me nothing, and I was just like, cheers, mate, for wrecking my night. And now Dolly's donkey, but I was.
He always opens for Shane, doesn't he?
This guy.
Micky Bartlett's Christmas crackers, 2023. Check them out.
I heard a joke like that. This is so shit though, but I love it. Where I didn't. Used to be a sound man. I didn't really like it, but I'm not one to complain.
That's fantastic. I saw a meme the other day, and it's an old one, and I laughed for fucking ages. And it was just like a one of those ones. There's like it's like a wee photo situation, and there's a guy fucking in the front seat of a car and a salesman, and the guy in the front seat goes cargo space, and the guy goes no cargo road. And I fucking
oh, good times. Do you have a favourite month?
When's the weather good? May. Aye. March is my birthday and Paddy's Day. It's a good drinking month.
Yeah, March.
December's good for drinking. October, November.
January's
pretty good for drinking.
So you can forget about the fact that it's January.
Yeah, February.
You're
like, I haven't been drunk all January.
Yeah.
But I have. But I've been telling people I haven't.
Yeah.
And then I've said March already. April. I mean,
might as well get drunk.
Who's going to have a couple drinks
Don't want to be a fool in April.
Do you know what I mean? Aye. June, lay off us, just all Coke. July,
go for a wee March.
Yeah, drinking a dander.
Mate, how did you find? Is this the first time you've been on here since Edinburgh? Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you? I was about to say, how did you find Edinburgh?
The pilot took me.
Yeah. What did you make of it?
It's
this year.
I think it's the best one I've done.
Right.
In terms of, it felt like the fucking the power dynamic had shifted over the comedians, because anytime I'd been there before, it was always sort of, there'd be people who run venues and would walk into pubs and comedians would, like, people would flock to them, like fucking. And this year it felt like the people that run the venues were coming to the comedians and nobody was looking at them.
Yeah.
It felt like anybody that I've known from doing the years of Edinburgh is finally at a point where they're going, oh, I'm here to get the show ready for a tour.
Yeah.
Because they've built up an audience during COVID with TikTok and podcasts and all sorts of stuff. So it felt like a very different fucking thing. And this is the first year that I've made like half decent money off the show. So I fucking loved it. But as well as that, I was way more responsible. I wasn't really, the last week the wheels came off, but I didn't really fucking hammer too hard.
Aye.
The party and all that sort of stuff, which usually it's a month of me snattered, like.
Yeah.
That last night was a different story. We'll talk about that off our just in case Daddy listens. But I enjoyed it. It was a weird one though as well. Where like I never get good reviews in Edinburgh. Like never get a fucking. So I got one review, and it was like, if you want a fucking surefire hour of fucking fast-paced comedy from this Northern Irish powerhouse, go see Micky Bartlett, 3 stars.
Yeah,
and I'm like, you motherfucker.
My one review was like that. Yeah. My one review was like, fucking great musical comedian. Everything's landing. The night this comp was in, stand ovation. Right? Aye. And that's not mentioned in the review. I'm like, was that part of the gig?
Man, I once got a 4-star review, right, where all the guy did was review how hot the room was. There was no talk of me in it.
The only
it was so hot, he was sweating. You could see he was working his balls off. 4 stars.
Somebody said to me, "What about a 4-star review?" And I was like, "I will leave comments on 4-star pizza websites, like, you know what I mean." Just getting there, being like, the pepperoni wasn't quite as crisp as it normally is. No, I enjoyed it, but there was things about it I didn't like.
It's a fucking real slog. I think
week 3. Week 3. Basically, actually, until the end, but the day or two before it was over, there's like excitement that it's about to be over.
Aye.
I also think, for me anyway, my show was so late every night. Like, it's on at 10:30 every night at that. So it was like, I just felt like I was waiting every day to do it. Do you know what I mean? It was just sort of a pain in the cock, like.
There's a timing of, like, if you can get it, because mine was 7:30, and it was fucking lovely. Like, now, the thing was, my room wasn't, it was like, it felt like it was right at the edge of the fringe, so you couldn't flyer to get people in. It was kind of like what you started with in the morning, that's what you had.
Yeah.
And I had a couple of absolute fucking belters. The Monday, Tuesday of the last week, back to back, died on my hole for a full hour. And I remember on the Tuesday, like, addressing the fact that it was down on my hole, and the audience laughed. Yeah. And I was like, so you just know what's happening, and you're able to laugh.
Yeah.
You're just watching me fucking struggle. And they were like, yep. I was distraught. But it's good, but it's just like, I think as well as that, this year I came home for the Fela and then for the banger fucking thing, and that wee break is dead important as well, because you feel like you've been away for a week. I
came home for the Fela and then didn't want to go back. Like, that was a problem I had, because I came back for the Fela and it was one of the best gigs of my life and it was brilliant, and then and it felt good to be back here, and then way to get the boat the next day, and I was fucking distraught.
I did the banger one, and I remember thinking halfway through my set, I fucking knew it was funny. I fucking knew it. Because Edinburgh, there's times where, like, you'll be doing stuff where it's worked in previews, it's worked in clubs, it's worked, and it's either because they've never heard of you, or they've seen 6 shows that day, or they've just popped in because fuck it, why not? And you're like, what? Why? Or they're nervous that they're too nervous to laugh or whatever. Yeah. And then going to banger, doing my first joke from the show, and going, I fucking knew it, man.
No, mate, it's,
went home, pulled the cock on myself, like.
I felt that with a couple of things, a couple of times. Like, the first 1 or 2 shows I did were a wee bit, they were good, but a bit, bits of this need changed a wee bit, and then we worked on that during the days, and then pretty much from then on, it was good. I didn't love the venue I was in, to be fair. The actual room was good, but I didn't love
it's a tough venue.
The promotion, like. But would you do it? Would you do it, Paul?
I might next year go over for like a week or something, maybe. Yeah.
I would recommend a wee.
2 weeks is perfect.
A week or 2 weeks.
The thing is, everybody's doing it, because that
last year did it right.
That's the perfect way to do it. Yeah. Last year was it Sam Campbell, the Australian guy. He won Best Newcomer, and he was only there for 2 weeks. And I think everybody thought you had to do a full run to win the award. Yeah. But, and again, I don't know if it costs any less to do it for 2 weeks. I know, like, the accommodation was fucking insane.
The accommodation's
Like-
stinking, but you do usually get a discount on it if you're staying for the full 4.
Aye.
Like, I think mine was... I think we ended up getting the 4th week for free because we were there for 4.
Aye.
You know, because we booked it so early. Like, we booked that in fucking January, February
Aye.
time. Something
You
like
have
that.
to, because I was the sort of about 2 months before it. I emailed my agent. I was like, "How much would it cost for me to pull out of this? Because the accommodation's that expensive. I'd nearly rather pay fucking
Yeah.
$3,000 and not go
Yeah.
because it was going to be $4,000 to go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and then me and Willie locked out with we were in student halls, and it was perfect because it was just a bed and a toilet and a shower, which is all you need.
Prison.
Yeah, and I've done like flat showers with comedians before where you're like, there's 5 of you waiting in one bathroom,
Aye,
and that's
aye.
a fucking the amount of times I've pissed in bottles in my own bed. Like,
me and Chloe stayed in a wee apartment, and Kev and Aileen came over and stayed for like a few days. And when they were over, we had a lovely time. But it was like being back in my ma's house
Aye.
back in the day, where like
brushing your teeth with somebody's taking a shit. Like,
I can tell if Kev Railing's been in. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
It was fucking grim, but we did a good time there. Actually, I did some touristy things over there that I enjoyed, but also went to some fucking shite places.
See,
for
I've only done touristy stuff for the last 6 weeks, right? So I've started going out with a girl from Australia. She was here for like a visit. Have you ever been to Blarney Castle?
Yes,
Fucking beautiful.
it is. It's lovely.
Where's that?
It's
Did
in
you kiss the stone?
I didn't kiss the stone, but
It's a her. Like,
Oh, it's an absolute her.
I
Like,
did it when I was young.
Aye.
Like I don't know that I could.
I
do it
don't
now.
reckon I could do it now. I know we went because we were in Galway first, so I had a 2-day hangover, and we drove to Cork, and we're walking up the steps up to the stone just to see the stone.
Yeah.
And the steps are narrow as fuck, so I'm like, I didn't know this was going to happen. They're all wet. I was wearing Converse. I'm like, I'm going to fall and die. Then I started farting, and I could hear Germans behind me like, "Oh, 9," and I was like, "That's me. I'm sorry." And then, but we had to walk through the garden. There's a bit where like I remember told Casey this, and Casey made fun of me. I was like I was fucking high because we walked onto this tree, and all of a sudden all the leaves were red, and your eyes went, "What the fuck just happened?" And I was like, "Man, this is the most beautiful place I've been in my life. This is fucking incredible." But we went around loads of like castles around Scotland and stuff as well. I had a great time being a tourist. It's class.
I would love to shit myself in front of a load of Germans, and
Aye.
then when they start going, I'll be like, "Oh, you can smell that, can you?"
Aye. Yeah, what, you don't like gas now, do you?
Oh, nothing happened here, did it?
Aye.
Hers.
If you hook through it, there's a gold tooth you want it.
We're
Yeah, fucking murdering bastards.
what castles did you go to in Scotland?
Fuck, what was it? So we got off the boat and we're driving to Edinburgh, and I just saw a sign for it. Was it Dunratty or something?
Right.
So but it's like a fucking stately home. Do you get a wee tour of this stately home?
We
It's
went to
quite
one
nice.
outside Edinburgh when we were over there called Thurlaston, and it was like a big stately home, and it was fucking great.
Do you know where I went? Right, you're going to judge me. I'm going to say it. So my girlfriend's a big fan of Downton Abbey, right?
Right.
So I fucking bought 2 tickets to go to the Downton Abbey
Right, okay.
Manor House, right? It's £300. I'm not happy about it. Got there, and I was like, I was the only cunt that hadn't seen it, right? And it represents everything I don't like.
I know.
Posh colonial Britishness, right? No offense to anyone
yep.
that is into that. Wars and War was a draw. But I was fully like, "I fucking this just fucking sets off my socialist fucking buttons."
Oh yeah.
And then everybody else there had all seen Downton Abbey, and they were proper fucking, "Oh, this is where fucking Lady such and such fucking."
See those shows.
And
Let's see that.
wait to hear this, Kieran. This is where it gets worse.
Is there
so I'm
an
judging
old
them.
female
No, wait till you
character
hear.
who's
Wait till you
brilliant
hear.
at being a bitch?
Wait till you hear. So I'm watching all these cunts, right? And I'm like, what a bunch of fucking geeks, right? We get round the whole tour, take a wee tour ourselves around the gardens and stuff. Get back in the car, and I'm like, see when we get home, can we watch like the first episode, see if I like it? Binge the whole thing in 3 days, man. I was fucking hooked on it.
Oh
right?
my God.
I was fucking hooked, right? See, now that I've finished watching it, the movies to watch, I'm waiting for Christmas, but when I finished the whole series, and I found myself going, fuck, what am I going to do now? Right?
Oh, mate.
Do you know what's great about it? Because it is shite, right? People go to me, is it good? And I go, no. But every episode, something happens, and you go, that's going to be a 5-episode arc of drama. That's going to be fucking, that's just going to be so stressful. And then it gets resolved in like 10 minutes. And you go, fuck, I feel quite positive. That's quite nice. And then a bit of drama hits you out of fucking nowhere. And my girlfriend has a video of me like that. I can't fucking believe that happened. Like,
My mom, my sisters have watched like, you know, every Catherine Cookson show.
yeah.
It was on the 90s. Every fucking Downton, every Make Call the Midwife. Here, did you know having a baby was dangerous in the 40s? Aye.
Aye.
Aye, that's
There
why
was
loads of them
bombs
died.
dropping.
Can we stick on? Do you want to stick on a show about it? Oh,
Do you know what else was dangerous? Going to the front line, ladies. All right.
Yeah.
What happened to equality? Get out there and fucking fight them Israelis, or unless.
Jesus Christ!
I've heard that a lot in my life.
Unbelievable. The Battle of the Moy. What? That gig in the Moy was good that night, wasn't it?
That's a great way to get out of that one, Kieran. Fair play.
Trying to make people.
I was taking a hold. You turned up with Jesse B. I get us out the way.
That's resolved in 5 minutes. So I actually feel quite good about this.
People do think I'm like the local Middle Eastern correspondent. I know nothing.
It's good.
I want to good you with a fucking thick tour accent. Talal Jomar here, fucking the gal strip, just it's going off, boys. That's shocking, that there, hey.
It's going off.
About 300 yards from my house, the local councillor for my area came down, knocked my door and goes, "Come here, do you see this?" And he had stuck a Palestine flag. He had stuck a Palestine flag up, right? And he goes, "Done that for you." I'm like, "I'm not Palestinian."
I've done that for you.
I'm like, "I'm still not going to vote for you."
That's fucking mad. What?
Come here to the house. Out of the house.
Done that for you.
Done that for me.
What?
Did I get a photograph? Of course I did.
Oh, fucking right, I
Stand like this.
haven't eaten pork all week. Last one.
Never had a drink in my life.
You were there at night. Were both of you there at night in? Were both of you there at night in Dungannon in that tent place?
Yeah.
That was a fucking weird gig.
It's a rowdy room, like.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
The fucking Shinners are ready down at that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was actually Shinners until I joked and went, "Oh, Shinners run," and then it was the actual MLAs and all coming backstage.
I had a gig with one of the Shinners in question. It was in Tyrone. That's where it was in Tyrone. But at the time I was doing I'd been spending a bit of time in Pomeroy.
Okay.
You have, because you said Pomeroy and not fucking Pomeroy.
Yeah, that's how you said it.
I know, yeah.
And I tell you what it was, right? It was. Do you remember that wee girl? What do you call the wee blind woman that won the fucking Voice?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And so I was
Conor
saying,
Begley.
I was seeing this girl, and did she win the Voice?
No.
I can't remember if she won. Whatever happened when she came home anyway.
Also known as the wee blind woman who won the Voice.
Yeah.
Probably didn't. Yeah. Oh, right, okay, right.
What was her name?
Philomena's niece.
Philomena's niece. Yeah. So anyway, I'm on the phone to this fucking. I'd done this on stage. But I was on the phone to the girl I was seeing, and she was like, "Oh, Micky, you want the whole town to come together for coming home? It's brilliant. People have cut their grass and painted their houses and all." And I went, "Why?" I went, "Open a tin of paint and tell her you did it." Right? And I was only joking, but I'd done that fucking thing on stage, and one of the Shinners had somebody with her who I don't think was a full Shinner, and took me to one side and was like, "You ever fucking make fun of Pomeroy again, you'll have a fucking problem." And I was like,
I don't think he was. He sounds like he is a full Shinner.
Yeah, always full. He just won't admit it.
Yeah. So that night they came backstage. Some guy was with one of them. Possibly not a full Shinner. He certainly wasn't a full shilling, because he comes over to Chloe and takes her hand, and I'm sort of looking at him going, "Noted," right? And then he goes, "Oh, it's lovely to meet you," but did like the oyster, it's lovely to meet you, and then looks at me and looks at her and goes, "This man's not doing enough to look after you now. He's not doing enough to look after you now. This cunt's younger than me, by the way."
I know exactly who you're talking about.
I'm looking at him. and if I'm correct, I don't want to go further to identify this guy, but he did have some sort of cast in his leg, and I'm like, I can see why it's happened to you. Because I'm gonna break it over when you call.
Fucking right.
Don't come into my fucking world and start telling me what I'm doing or not doing with my way. I'll eat your heart, you can't. This isn't even a podcast anymore, Dan. Knock us all off. I'm just saying, I'm actually thinking about that going, I had just done the gig. By the way, you can't that night. I was literally standing there, right? I was going, I've had a couple of good gigs leading in this, and I knew I was knackered that day. And you're on murdering. You're absolutely murdering. Because we were standing chatting away before you went on, and I thought to myself, he's gonna murder her because he seems real sharp, right? And you go on and just blow it apart. And as you're on, I think was Keezy was there? Was Butler there?
No.
No,
Keezy was MC.
Who was I talking to? I think I was talking to Keezy, and I said, I remember literally going, sure, kill harder, Mickey. Kill just a wee bit harder, make it a nightmare for me. And I remember coming on, and I did my first couple of jokes and just went, oh, I wish Mickey was on.
I was one of those ones where I was like as much as I love you, I was walking up being like, oh, he's got a tough one.
I knew.
I was like, oh, he's fucked.
I was like, you murdered. I did all right at it, but I was like, can't. Like, I was fucked that day. And I thought it was a sort of strange wee room, like, you know.
The first one we did, you remember? It was like, it was still bright outside.
It was a bit weird.
You're like, fuck, this is a bit insane.
Yeah.
But the twice that I've done it, everybody in that whole fucking, they're all hammered drunk.
Yeah.
I've never been offered so many drugs in my life.
God.
Like, I swear to God.
See, with the last...
Some guy goes to me, do you want a key?
Aye.
And I went, a what? And he was a key. And I went, and I swear to God, my first thought was, have I sung something out of tune? And he's doing like a music joke here. And he goes, a key? I went, what do you mean? He goes, we key of coke. And then I turned around to Chloe and I went, is a key not like a fucking kilogram? Would that not kill somebody? And she goes, no, he's not fucking Escobar. He's not talking about... He's not talking about moving keys.
Do you want 20 grand worth of coke?
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, if you lose this, you die. Sort of
street value 50.
Yeah. And she goes, he means you want to sniff it off a car key. And I was like, I remember literally going,
what kind of car is it?
I'm not of this world. I don't even understand what's being said. I don't even know the words that people use to offer things anymore.
I was in Newcastle in England once and I was smoking and the guy went, oh mate, can I have a tab? Because that's what they call cigarettes. And I was like, mate, I don't do drugs. Like,
yeah.
And he was like,
a white cola.
Yeah.
From the 90s. Tab. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, remember? Yeah.
That was good times. White cola, that's what it was.
Is that what it was you poured it out?
Clear cola.
Fuck me.
Weird.
How do they make it brown?
I think they caramelise the sugar.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Or add caramel colour. I don't know.
You're the worst person to be backstage with.
Why?
At a gig. That first one in Dungan we did, biggest crowd I'd ever done. And he goes to me, are you nervous? I went, yeah. He goes, yeah, you should be. He goes, your hometown. I was like, yeah, close. He goes, if you fuck us up, you're done. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh my God.
And they just walked away, and I was like, I thought he was sound.
Something happened that night though in that place, didn't it? I think when I was starting, something happened. One of the lights or something. One of the lights break or something.
I can't
I
remember.
don't know. I know that the two times I've done it, I've been on second last and been over the moon about it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, because you can see the crowd getting drunker as you're talking. And I'm like, the last thing I want to happen here is be leaving when they're leaving.
Yeah, do you know what it is?
But every time, the two times I've done it, even when I'm leaving, there's a bunch of people been throughout, and they're like, "Give us a fucking 40, can't you?" And you're like,
you've given them a headline spot without having to deal with them being drunk.
Yeah, it's great. It's fucking perfect.
I'm coming on. They're just going, fucking comedy, is it? And you're like,
it's like going on in the middle of a comedy club. You're like, this is the sweet bit. Just after the break, they've all been freshly peed and pooed. Oh,
peed and pooed. Unbelievable. Oh, man, what a time that was, that wee gig. That was
it's good. A great gig, like.
I think we're going to run a couple of them next year too. Like,
really?
So,
yeah.
Be in touch.
I think I'm doing a couple. I think I might be doing a couple over Christmas for that guy, the guy that owns it or something.
Oh yeah, he was running a bunch of stuff. Yeah, he was sending it because I head to Australia in a fortnight, so I'm going to be out there doing fucking... I've got a couple of solo shows, 14th, 15th, 16th. I'm in Brisbane, Sydney and Melbourne.
No free burger gigs though, right? Just
no free burger gigs. These are all fucking...
head burger.
But stupidly, the way I booked the flights, when I can't go for pints after any of the gigs in Australia.
Oh, really?
The flights were all like 5 in the morning, and I'm like, fucking gutted.
Yeah, we pint on it, no? On the plane?
No, they're only hour and a half long flights.
Oh, right, okay.
The flight from Ireland to Australia...
Right.
Statement.
Right.
I got up to Fast and Furious 5 on the way home last time, so I'm going to... They've got the whole saga on Qatar Airways, so I'm just going to fucking...
have they made 10 of those now?
Yeah. I haven't seen past 6, to be fair.
When
Paul Walker died 7?
I think I've seen 7 and 8, maybe.
Aye.
I know that one of my nephews was over here, and we went to see one, and it was like, he was a kid, and it was like, he wants to see that, and I'm like, does he?
I'll say this, Fast and Furious 5 is a genuinely decent movie.
Right, okay.
It's a good heist movie.
Two's my favourite.
2's your favourite? That's surprising though, because 2's shite.
No, 2's good, man.
2's not good at all.
No,
I wouldn't know any of them.
No, 2's the one where Paul Walker tries to sound black. He's like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
He tries to say,
I've seen the first one in the cinema, which was mental, and then I think whatever this one was, 7 or 8 definitely, and it was like there was a lot of. I think it was the one after Walker died.
Aye.
Because there was a lot of like photos of him and
Yeah.
like he was like
that.
a brother to me. yeah. Just a picture.
I'm on fire.
Just somebody eating a bowl of raspberry ribble ice cream going.
Yeah, Paul, not Walker.
Unbelievable.
I saw the first one was the first time I ever went on a date. Me and my mate from school went on a double date to see Fast and
Just
Furious
went
one.
on a date with me.
Just me and my mate just took these two girls to go on a date and we're like, fucking see Fast and Furious. And we were both that fucking hyped after it that we went into the bowling alley next to the cinema and just played Sega Rally for ages and the girls went home.
Oh man, I played that. This is too recently. Like we came out of the cinema. We went to watch that Kevin Bridges thing. It was the fucking night. I didn't know it was the same night as your thing. We went to do that, and then we did a wee photo shoot in the cinema for this thing I'm doing there, and then we went to the Disney on Ice was on, so the car park was fucked. So we stayed in the Odyssey and went to the Odyssey, the bowling bit, and I played that fucking. By the way, if you run that place, clean it, lads. Clean it as you go.
Sticky, innit?
Do you know what? It was. I'll say this: we walked in at the top. All the food that they served that night, like literally every plate that they served, was stacked, just sitting there. No one doing dishes or cleaning. So stinking upstairs, and it smells like a bin, right?
Aye.
And then loads of machines. People have just been at them with food and poured all over them, and there's like sauce on the machines and all. And going, what's this, bollocks, right? And then we jumped onto the Halo game.
Aye.
Sort of shite, like
Absolutely
here, and it's
shite.
£2 a go, like. I'm going here.
If you want a good Halo game, it should be more like fucking like Time Crisis where you just get to hold a gun.
Give me, mate, do you know what? Give me Time Crisis 2.
Yeah.
The one where you have a mate.
Yeah.
Oh, there's.
That's all.
Yeah, and fucking,
They got rid of that in the boat and that's fuming.
you want to reload, you've got to stamp a
Yeah.
fucking thing, you want to hide and all. Oh, do you know what was a fucking great game? Silent Scope.
Silent Scope was fucking.
Remember that with the fucking.
I had this fucking trick, right? If I was getting the boat to Scotland, they obviously fucking recalibrate that machine every day, right? And if you were on it first thing in the morning, you'd win £20, no problem. Because you'd always hit the wee fucking bonus round.
Yeah.
And so I'd go there, like put £1 in, come out with 20 quid, and then be like, fucking, that's a packet of fakes for later on.
Yeah. Do you know what was a good one? There was a game I played in an airport one night where I had to stay over in the airport basically, but it was a pool game. And it had a real queue.
Aye.
And you won money on that. And I made I won a clean fortune.
Do you know what I got
think
there?
I sunk about 15 quid into it.
Aye.
But I walked out with like 50, 60 pounds. It was
Class.
unreal.
Do you know what I got for the PlayStation? Just for a wee nostalgia trip, the Robocop game.
Oh, here's it good? I've heard it's decent.
See when you start playing it, there's a lot of wee problems with it. Like for a PS5 game, when he walks past the mirror, there's no reflection. You're like, come on, there's a wee bit of detail here. You need to fucking. And when he's walking about, he doesn't have feet. You're like, come on, like.
I like to be able to look down and see feet.
Do you know what I mean? Just to add that wee bit in. But I started playing it, and the first sort of 20 minutes or so, I was like, this is fucking shit. And I started reading reviews, and people were like, it's fucking, put it down after 15 minutes, it's shit. The 25th minute, and you figure out you can upgrade the gun, you are Robocop.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I can't stop playing it. I cannot stop playing it.
It looked, a lot of people
I fought
were reviewing it,
N209
saying
last
it's-
night with a fucking Cobra assault cannon. Bye bye. Like fucking. That's the line from the movie.
I got that,
thanks.
yeah.
And there's a bit in it where not to spoil it.
Tonight! Was it the Panthers are playing tonight? Or something like that, yeah.
Tonight. yeah. It's like where's your partner? I took her out.
Does it hurt? Yeah, you've shotgun his arm off.
You burnt the fucking money, you asshat. From the polite version they put on TV.
Yes.
But there's a bit of it where you go to where fucking Murphy gets shot in the game.
Yeah.
And when you're playing it, you're like, oh,
This is
that's
trauma.
a bit rough.
That's
That's a
trauma.
bit fucking much.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of the reviews for that have been
It's
like
good.
actually going like, this is actually good.
Yeah,
As
it
if
is.
like everyone thought it was going to be shit.
I think once you upgrade, it's fucking great crack. Because you can just like 5 people turn, you go, and they all just fall. You're like, I'm like,
I
shooting the
remember
balls and all, it's class.
on Sega they had the game
Robocop versus Terminator?
Terminator was brilliant.
Fucking amazing.
That was brilliant.
Do you know what I have on my phone? Streets of Rage 4.
Is it still side scrolling?
Still side scrolling, like it's just a wee bit better, a wee bit slicker. It's fucking great.
Can you get that on like on a console or something, or is it just on phones?
I don't know. You might be able to. Maybe you can get it on PlayStation.
Man,
4.
I loved the first Streets of Rage, just kicking the console.
I've never played the third one. I played the first 2.
I don't think I played through. So I remember in the second one, I was always a wee cunt on roller skates, or rollerblades, or whatever. But I was always Axel in the other one, like the guy with the white shirt, blonde hair, and then white shirt was like a vest thing, and then like a wife beater, and then he beat the Christ out of everybody. This happened to me. You get through to the end, and the big boss says,
gives you a choice. Do you want to work level 6? It happened to me too, twice.
Do you want to fight me? You know, want to fight?
Fight me.
Do you want to fight, or do you want to like work with me? And I remember being like, obviously work with you, because then there's gonna be more levels where I'm kicking the conf out of people. Whereas if I fight you now, that's it, and then it sticks you back, and you're like, you might not ever get back there again.
It still has some of like the original sound effects.
So
when you eat an apple, it goes.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, the music and all that was fucking brilliant.
Do you know what I heard the other day? And it's I can't stop listening to it. It's a thrash metal version of the Bucky O'Hare theme tune.
Right, okay.
Fucking unbelievable. I was in the gym this morning. I was like, I can lift that whole machine.
I remember didn't my memory of the Bucky O'Hare theme tune is there's a bit in it that goes something like Captain Bucky O'Hare. Like,
Bucky! Captain Bucky O'Hare. It goes when the ordinary rabbit would dare. If your wretched ignition has suffered a hit, Bucky O'Hare, take care of it. It's Bucky!
Too young for Bucky O'Hare, I think.
Fuck up, you know, are you not our age?
34.
God, that's the same as us, roughly.
But I don't remember.
It was only one series.
It's
to be fair.
Yeah, there's like all these wee windows of time.
Yeah.
Captain Planet?
Yeah.
No, Captain Planet.
You don't remember Captain Planet?
No. I spent my first 5 years in the Middle East. Like we had shite.
I suppose you were burning oil like fuck, guys.
Yeah.
Captain Planet wouldn't go near you.
Captain, yeah. What did you say?
Captain Planet wouldn't go near them.
We had
Captain Planet like that. Oh no, fuck off.
the character we had was Captain Majid. I think that's what it was called.
Captain Majid?
Captain Majid.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What he
Great
did?
show.
Did he have superpowers and shit?
Yeah.
Like what?
Just destroyed Jews. No, I mean,
He'd steal stuff and keep his hands.
it's been cancelled. He was a soccer player.
That's funny.
I just think
Soccer player by day, fucking hand clacker by night, like, you know what I mean?
Soccer player, yeah.
Unbelievable.
he was just bidding for a World Cup. Every episode.
Yeah.
Gonna be we'll put it up in a day and a half. Don't worry about
That is fucking top honor. Oh my god.
Captain Majid was a class show. Like,
That's fucking crazy.
Did you ever see the Mystic Knights of Tiernan? The Irish Power Rangers? It's fucking legit. Legit. I swear to fuck.
that sounds class.
It's giving me some kind of weird.
There's one in a minute. The black guy who was in it is now quite famous actor. You'll see him and stuff all the time.
Right.
But I remember seeing it. It was like, do you remember there was like Power Rangers and there was Big Bad Beetleborgs and VR Troopers and the Mystic Knights of Tiernan was the one on RTE.
Mental.
If you had your fucking
Mystic Knights of Tiernan.
I would definitely have done. I would have been doing like Captain Planet, Defenders of the Earth was a big deal for me in my house. Sort of late 80s. I had a video of it though, and then so it was like all the DC characters, like fucking the Phantom, Flash Gordon, and people like that.
Do you remember Phantom 2020?
I don't think so.
2040. So it was, remember the Phantom movie with Billy Zane?
Yeah.
But it was that character, but in the future.
Right.
And he didn't have guns. He just had like 2 poles that shot stuff out so they could get past sensors and stuff.
No.
Do you know what I watched the other day? Sorry, this is a fucking nerdgasm now. They've got the Batman animated series on Netflix.
I know. Here, I'm about to get into that.
It's so
they also
good.
have on Disney. They have a load of the Spider-Man animated stuff, which is fucking great.
I always remember one episode of that where Blade was in it. Blade had a lightsaber.
Did you ever watch one that was called "Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego"?
I remember it. It used to be on Channel 4 on a Saturday morning. I always remember if I woke up and put the TV on that was on, I was like, I'm up too early.
Yeah, there was one. There was one that I used to rise really early as a kid, like 6 maybe, and there was one used to be on Channel 4 called Sandokan, and he was like a lion, like a tiger. He was a big cat, and just sitting there being like, I'm gonna claw the fucking life out of you. You know, he was a big cat of some kind. I think he might have been a lion, but he was a pirate. He was a tiger, and he was a pirate.
Right.
Yeah, like
Aye.
all the characters in it were tigers and lions, but they were all pirates, like on a ship and all. Weird, like.
Aye. Do you know what used to, and still to this day, kind of gives me nightmares? And I seen one recently, and I was like, oh, I don't like that. The Moomins.
Oh, Moomins are weird.
Used to
Weird.
fucking freak me out. I'm like, are you hippos or birds? Whatever.
Do you know what though? I enjoy if someone annoys me. I enjoy referring to them as a moomin.
Aye.
You know what I mean? That's a good word. Do you remember Babar? We fucking
Yeah, the wee
I
elephant.
hated the style of that.
Yeah.
It felt like something you should only watch if you're off sick.
Do you know what always used to fucking annoy the shit out of me? What was it? Was just the raccoons? That was what it was called.
The
Was it?
raccoons,
right?
Cyril Snare,
Cyril
like
Snare.
fucking loose foreskin.
Do you remember?
neb.
See, anytime they smiled or laughed, the inside of their mouth looked like somebody just scribbled it, and it used to bug the fuck out of me. I'm like, why are you drawing the rest of that? And then just
I
fucking
remember
that bit
the way that used to get introduced was literally somebody talking over a wee bit of music,
Yeah.
and then it would always finish with the raccoons.
Yes.
He loved
He'd been
it.
swinging on a rope.
Yeah,
We jumped
Cyril
around.
Snare. We knew somebody that looked like that, and got called Cyril for a long
Class.
time, which was great.
Baker Mike's from Mars. Do you remember?
Oh, that was good. They had great toys as
Yeah,
well.
they're really good toys.
Yeah,
I watched the Toys That Made Us the other day. Have you seen that? Like,
I haven't seen
Netflix.
that. No.
It was all about the Power Rangers.
Oh, really?
And just like the Power Rangers action figures were. But I remember when they came out, I was like, I shouldn't be playing these anymore. Like,
Yeah,
do you know what I
I-
mean? Being like, fuck, this is getting weird. Even
There was,
I
a
know it's
couple
getting
of,
weird.
there was a couple of like waves of toys in the 90s that were weird. So like, do you remember Crash Test Dummies?
Yeah.
It was like a wave, and it had a cartoon and all this shit.
Yeah.
I had a couple of those. I actually had their enemies, not
Yeah.
the dummies. And then I had there was Power Rangers. Oh, mate, Jurassic Park. You want to talk?
Toys?
You want to talk about a good
That was
a
some
good
good
time?
toys. I remember the T-Rex had a big bite. You could
There,
pull the side
there
out
was
of
the
it.
bit there. Do you remember the Terminator thing that they brought out, where you could like you could break the Terminator apart, basically?
I remember
The
having.
kid across the street from us had that.
I remember having a RoboCop where you could put the damaged helmet and the damaged
Oh,
like
brilliant!
bits on. But it was from the series. So it
Aye.
was weird shit that hadn't happened in the movies. Like
Aye. The fuck, what was I on about there? The Crash Test Dummies.
Did you ever have the toy
Terminator.
aliens? Did you ever get those toys?
Jurassic Park. I didn't have those.
The aliens were fucking great.
Came in the wee egg. Is that what you remember? No.
No, like the aliens the movie.
All
Aliens
right.
movie, no.
So like there was a queen and she had a button on her back that there was wings on it and fucking fly and shit and
The Jurassic Park ones, right? So I had a raptor, and I had one. You know the with the fucking
Yeah.
ink, right?
the gay one.
Right. I had one of those. That's fucking
The
brilliant.
Shakespearean dinosaur forsooth.
That's fucking brilliant. Yes, that's so good. I had that one, and so the collar was removable, right?
All right.
And there was a wee. So if you like, it had two wee arms, and you could move them, but one of them, when you pulled it down, opened its beak and did a.
Oh, class.
And actually, in fact, I tell a lie. It just opened its mouth,
Aye.
and I did the. And our Kevin and Declan still talk about this occasionally, about how tragic my enjoyment of that was. Like, I was like, on Christmas morning,
Aye.
you know, opening the dinosaur's mouth, and I was like, this is a great time.
Aye.
And our boys are like 12 and 13, being like, you're a fucking rare cunt.
Aye, we never did that.
Yeah,
we
I
never
know.
like that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, I love that. See, to be fair to our Fiona, she took us to see she took me and our Sheila to see like seminal films of the 90s,
Aye.
like fucking Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Jurassic Park, Flintstones.
Aye. I was there's one bit of the Flintstones that sticks with me, right? And it's when Fred Flintstone's talking about his dad eating red meat, and he
Right.
goes, "Yeah, that's all he ate was red meat." And he lived the ripe old age of 35. And I remember turning 35 and going, "Fred Flintstone's dad died when he was 35." Oh fuck!
I remember just I remember going to see Jurassic Park in the cinema, and just being like, films are
Aye.
the best.
Oh man,
shit.
yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I remember my dad taking me to see. I made him take me to see My Girl. Macaulay Culkin was in it.
That was a big deal.
I remember Dad was like, "You know, it's not like Home Alone. It's different." And I was like, "Of course, I know it's not like Home Alone."
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm going, "Of course, it is, dickhead.
Home Alone
I'm
2,
6.
yeah.
I know how the word works."
Yeah.
And leaving the cinema, like, I wasn't like Home Alone at all.
yeah.
Like, Dad was like, "I fucking told you, we can't." I remember my cousins trying to take me to see Batman Returns when I was about 6. And they wouldn't let me in the cinema, and I was standing there going, "I've already seen it." Like, my dad took me. Do you know what? This is just a weird thing too. Do you remember the Thunderbirds?
Yeah.
Right. So, right, they fucking yes, this shit's like this.
Huh?
Howdy, Troy. Right.
Do you remember the other one that went with it? Captain Scarlet?
Captain Scarlet was fucking amazing.
Scarlet
Yeah.
and the Mr.
Is that like,
Ross.
this is the voice of the Mr.
Yeah,
Ross?
yeah.
You'd be like, oh, fuck, he'll come. Right?
I love Captain Scarlet. Yeah.
So I had, when I was a kid, my man and dad got me a Tracy Island from Thunderbirds,
Brilliant,
right?
brilliant.
With the wee metal toys, you could put them all in the fucking, right? My nephew's 4, and my dad somehow got him. I think my dad loved it because it was out when he was a kid. So my dad's like, well, get him to watch Thunderbirds. Me and I can watch fucking stuff and enjoy it. So my ma bought him a Thunderbird 2, right?
It had Thunderbird 4 in it.
Had a
Do you remember
Thunderbird
that?
4 in it, right? But the one he has, right, it's fucking massive, right?
Right.
So you put down 4 legs, and like I was like, oh, this is class. Remember this when I was a kid? And my dad was like, hit that wee button there, right? And I hit the button, and the fucking thing dropped out. The door opens, and Thunderbird 4 slid out of it, and I was like, I'll be back in 5 minutes. Just left the room, like, whoa, fucking right. Like, my nephew's like, can I have my toy back? Fuck off.
Oh, mate. Well, here. We've come to the end of this this journey.
This trip down memory lane.
Yes, thank you very much for being here.
Sorry for all the bad things I said.
Anything you want to advertise or plug?
I'm filming a special on the 8th of December in Lavery's. Don't know when this
Excellent.
goes out, but tickets are available now.
Yeah, I think this is out probably quite a bit after that. But how did this? I hope the special was brilliant.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Is there anything at the start of 2024 that you want?
I'm going to be at the Perth Comedy Festival in Australia. So if you're out there, I'll be there from the 28th or something. It's like 4 shows. And then I'll be in, at the minute, I'm looking like I'm going to be in Adelaide and Melbourne as well.
Lovely.
For the Comedy Festival. So
All about yourself.
Just follow me on social media and yeah.
Well, what's your handle?
T Jomar. Look for that. There's not too many Talals
Good.
on social media.
Correct.
Good times. Well, thanks a million for being here, lads.
Guy.
We'll see you in the next one. Bye. Oh, no.